Harry's Wife. Part 102.20.3. The Duke and Duchess of BS. G'day. We all know that the good old Australians don't suffer fools gladly. They're straight talkers. If you're in the wrong, they'll let you know. And it's a trait that is to be admired. And of course, down under, our Antipodean cousins regularly call out the behaviour of Harry's wife and Harry for the bullshittery that it is. They regularly witness the twat-fuckery in action, and therefore find themselves collapsing with laughter, pointing the finger of derision, and basically shaking their heads at the whole twat-wafflery behaviour of the Sussexes. And we have further evidence of this. As covered by Mail Online in an article by Bridie Pearson-Jones for Daily Mail Australia, the headline reads, Aussie TV hosts brutal swipe at the Duke and Duchess of BS, Prince Harry and Harry's wife, as they mock the couple's new power portraits. Two Australian TV presenters have parodied Prince Harry and Harry's wife's new power portraits, which were released to the media this week. The images, taken before the Queen's death last month, show the Duke and Duchess of Sussex backstage at the One Young World Summit in England. Kylie Gillies and Larry Emdur, co-hosts of Channel 7's The Morning Show, mimicked the couple's unique pose, which saw Harry's wife standing in front of her husband as she held his index finger. They decided to take the photo because Gillies had shown up to work wearing a red blouse with a long scarf similar to the one Harry's wife had worn in her portrait. Gillies, 55, branded the royal pair, the Duke and Duchess of BS, in her brutal caption. The Duke and Duchess of BS. That's my caption, she wrote. Larry's caption is, at least 2 men in this photo have played naked billiards in Vegas, and at least 2 women in this photo would do anything to get the keys to a castle. I think at Larry Emdur's caption wins. The original picture shows Harry's wife in a red blouse and matching trousers with a chunky gold ring and earrings. The former Suits actress stands front on, looking into the camera and holding one of Harry's fingers, making it look as though she's going to pull it so that he'll go. The Duke stands behind her at an angle, smiling, in a smart black suit and tie. The stance is reminiscent of the couple's 2021 Time magazine photo shoot, in which Harry's wife stood in the centre and Harry stood at an angle behind her, with her hand resting on her shoulder. The pictures of the Sussexes were taken by celebrity photographer Misen Harriman, director of the South Bank Centre, and a friend of the couple, who has taken photos of celebrities including Rihanna, Stormzy, Tom Cruise, and Giorgio Armani. He shared them days after the release of an official portrait of the so-called new Fab Four, King Charles, the Queen Consort, and the Prince and Princess of Wales. The phrase Fab Four was once used to refer to William, Harry, Kate and Harry's wife. Following the Sussexes' departure from Britain and the Queen's death last month, the picture stressed that Charles, William and their wives will be the new core of the royal family moving forward. The pictures of Harry and Harry's wife overshadowed images of the King and Queen Consort's successful public visit since the end of the royal mourning period. There is no suggestion that the Sussexes deliberately timed the release of their images in an attempt to eclipse the King's visit, but it is illustrative of the fact that since they moved to the United States, they have not coordinated their activities with those of other members of the royal family, resulting in several clashes. The Daily Mail there being careful to make that observation, though, as you know, as a consequence of the behaviour of a narcissist, of course, the release of the pictures I've explained elsewhere is clearly an attempt to nullify the threat to control posed by the release of the so-called Fab Four picture. What do people below the line think about all of this? A little facetious, day by day. Harry is getting smaller and smaller. He certainly doesn't have what it takes to ever be in charge. That much is very clear. Can you even imagine? Well, indeed, he's the intimate partner primary source of a narcissist, and he has to be controlled. Honest John, nice one. Aussies are so down to earth. Corruption fighter. The photo shows who is in charge and who is being led, and I cannot believe the terrible two think it's a good look. Indeed, but they do, because Harry's wife always has to be front and centre, and Harry, cowed, shackled, leashed, is unable to see through the fog of his emotional thinking. TSSRN. Love the Aussies. We get great news from their Sky News here in America. Thank you, Australia. Addison Steele. We know it's intentional because they do this all the time. This is clearly referencing the overshadowing. Julie APT. Please don't stop there. Please do more of these photos. Ariendal. Quite possibly the best image to come out of Australian breakfast TV in decades. Well done. Marmy Watts. Love it. Perfect title for them. We'll use it from now on. Just a selection of the comments from below the line, all mocking Harry and Harry's wife. No outrage at two Australian television presenters taking the piss out of their photograph. No outrage whatsoever. Of course, Harry's wife won't look on this and think to herself, we're being roundly mocked here, and everybody in the comments agrees with it. We're doing something wrong here. We need to get our shit together and sort things out. No, not at all. If this were to come to her attention, she would simply, as always, dismiss it by complaining to a member of the coterie about this behaviour or just dismissing it in her mind, the second or third assertion of control. The fact is that Harry and Harry's wife have become such a laughingstock that regularly Australian television presenters talk about what Harry and Harry's wife have been doing, therefore providing fuel to Harry's wife, but they always mock her. They take the piss, they laugh, they deride, and they don't hide it. It is completely blatant, the contempt and ridicule that they exhibit towards them. This, of course, is challenge fuel. And Harry's wife is, of course, being spoken about, and therefore she will embrace that fuel. But what she fails to grasp is, of course, that it is indicative of the way that so many people now see her. She, propelled by her own delusion, still thinks that she's popular, still thinks that these pictures look really good, that she doesn't think that there's anything wrong in posing as she does, with the increasingly simpering Harry lurking behind her. She doesn't see a problem with that. It fits with her presentation in her mind of who she is. And she will continue to do this. And she will continue to be mocked, ridiculed and lampooned by the Australian TV presenters blatantly and brazenly, and quite rightly. And more people do so, pointing out their behaviours as the tide of contempt and derision for them grows. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.